Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Mary Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up in this week's top stories, Malaysia's Tzu Chi Continuing Education Center is a place where local residents can learn new skills and gain spirituality at the same time. We meet an 81-year-old grandmother in Malaysia who inspires her neighbors to start collecting recyclables and do their part in protecting our planet. And we take a look at how the number of Tzu Chis in the United States have grown through everybody's dedication and effort in the past 15 years. In Malaysia, on August 21st, a bus packed with passengers plunged into a deep ravine in the Genting Highlands of Pahang. Currently, 37 passengers are confirmed dead, with another 16 injured. Upon receiving the news, Tzu Chi volunteers split into 4 teams to visit 4 different hospitals. Meanwhile, a group of volunteers arrived at the Kuala Lumpur hospital to hand out consolation cash and give emotional support to the victims' families.
On August 21st, a bus carrying 53 passengers plugged down a steep slope in the Genting Highlands. 37 people were killed, with the 16 survivors currently receiving treatment in various hospitals. Upon receiving the news, Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers quickly arrived on scene to console the family members of the deceased. Other than providing emotional support, bread and water for family members, Tzu Chi volunteers also thoughtfully brought out chairs for them to rest on. With permission from the hospital, volunteers quickly set up a resting area.
We insisted on staying at the Kuala Lumpur hospital because only 6 victims' family members have come to claim the bodies. Many of the victims' family members are still not here yet, so right now we are staying at the emergency care center.
Amazed by Tzu Chi volunteers' quick response, local media arrived to do an interview to gain a better understanding of Tzu Chi.
We told them that we are here to help the victims' family members carry through this difficult time. We hope that with Tzu Chi volunteers by their side, they can feel a bit better.
Meanwhile, outside Selangnya Hospital, news crews and Tzu Chi volunteers are all on standby for the latest update on the survivors. In the aftermath of the accident, Tzu Chi volunteers hope to provide the survivors and their family members with timely assistance and love.
In 2004, the Tzu Chi chapter in Penang established the first Tzu Chi Continuing Education Center in Malaysia. Entering its 10th year, Tzu Chi has been providing a venue where residents can learn a variety of skills as well as find spiritual sustenance.
I have never drawn before, so the fact that I can now draw a bird and a frog makes me very happy.
I like being here. The overall atmosphere is great.
My daughter is happy that I'm coming here to understand computers and technology a bit more.
Tzu Chi University's Continuing Education Center first opened its doors overseas in Penang, Malaysia in 2004. Following its establishment, however, much work remained to make the classes a success.
At the beginning, it was a problem of finding space, as the classrooms at the Jinsi Hall are used for many purposes. That means that at the beginning of each class, we needed to move all the desks, and at the end of the class, move them all back, so that the other classes or activities could use the room. It was not ideal, but during this time, we learned a lot, and by the end, we were more determined than ever to hold these classes.
Now such continuing education classes are held for the benefit of the public by Tzu Chi liaison offices all over Malaysia, including those in Kedah, Johor Bahru, Pahang and Butterworth. Of course, the classes are not only about teaching life skills, but also the essentials of Tzu Chi's philosophy. Therefore, textbooks are filled with Jingsi aphorisms and inspiring stories.
When I first started painting, it had been a while. I felt that my hand was very tense and it made painting difficult and tiresome. I wanted to give up, but then I saw the words of Master Zhen Yan right here in the first chapter. You must have confidence in yourself.
As students apply themselves, they eventually find themselves in a position to teach. In fact, over half of the teachers of these continuing education classes were once formerly its students. In teaching, their learning takes on a new meaning.
There's pressure as there is always a worry that the students will catch up one day. So there's a strong motivation to keep working and improving.
For decades, it seemed like all I noticed was myself. Now I notice the grass, the animals, all of it. So I'm very thankful to be able to come here to study.
Now in its 10th year, the continuing education programs held by Tzu Chi continue to transform lives and hearts and show that learning is one road that we should never stop walking.
To help feed the malnourished children of Rizal Province, the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter partnered with 20 public schools in San Mateo to hand out lunch coupons to the needy students. At the same time, Tzu Chi volunteers seized the opportunity to promote the 80-20 campaign in hopes of inspiring students to help those in greater need.
Receiving Tzu Chi's lunch coupons and bags of food, Jolina breaks into a smile as she no longer needs to worry about what to eat at lunch over the next month and will be able to focus on her studies.
My mother's hands are worn out from her laundry job, but Tzu Chi's coupons will help relieve my mother's financial burden. I will do my share to help those in greater need.
Thanks to Tzu Chi's provision of meals to needy students, they're able to gain the strength needed to focus on their studies.
To provide some 2,000 students with much-needed food, Tzu Chi Philippines chapter worked in cooperation with 20 public schools in San Mateo, Rizal Province to distribute lunch coupons and promote the campaign of eating 80% full and sharing 20% to the needy.
Before, we thought the Filipinos were the poorest. However, Tzu Chi volunteers let us realize there are more people who are less fortunate. Therefore, we have to be frugal and save the rest to help others.
Although suffering from bone tuberculosis, which left him incapacitated, this little boy does not give up and enjoys extending his love to others.
Today, I learned that I should not waste food and I should lend a helping hand to others.
In addition to the idea of eating 80% full and sharing 20% to the needy, Tzu Chi volunteers also donate second-hand books to the students, hoping them will learn to cherish reusable items.
Why do we have to save 1 peso each day? Because the money we have saved can help others, including our classmates.
Thanks to Tzu Chi's aid campaign, some 1,500 children will not suffer from hunger anymore, and 35,000 students are now inspired to join Tzu Chi volunteers in helping those in greater need.
4 months have gone by since the Ya'an earthquake devastated Sichuan province, China, and residents' lives are slowly returning to normal. Recently, students from both Taiwan and China arrived in Lushan High School for the final stop of their 14-day trip, where they brought smiles and laughter to many.
Here at China's Sichuan province, a truck loaded with peoples is traveling through the streets as workers are busy picking up bricks from the roadside. Residents here are slowly recovering from the Ya'an earthquake 4 months ago. As part of a 14-day exchange trip, students made their final stop at Lushan High School, where they joined youth volunteers in fun and educational activities. Among these youth volunteers, Chen Long was reminded of his experience 5 years ago.
5 years ago, after the Wenchuan earthquake, Tzu Chi came and supported me through my most difficult time. Coming here today, by accompanying these children, I feel like I've passed on the love to those in need.
In the 14-day trip, Students joined volunteers in home visitations, sharing their recycling knowledge with others and seizing every opportunity to experience life in a different way.
This summer, you have shed your tears and sweat. Even if you don't join Tzu Chi, I don't think it really matters, so long as you are willing to pay the love forward, care for those around you, and work into the lives of others with patience.
Though soon returning to their hometown, the students cherish the affinity formed with Tzu Chi.
Regardless of whether we will have the chance to meet again, we're all part of Tzu Chi's big family now.
Next in Malaysia, we meet 81-year-old grandmother Chen Wei, who spends her mornings collecting recyclables from the trash bins of neighbors. Chen's passion and sense of mission have inspired many in her community to join her in recycling for the planet.
For the past 2 years, Chen Wei has been doing recycling daily. Every morning, the 81-year-old senior will walk the streets of her neighborhood in search of recyclables. When she was 46, the senior was involved in a car accident, which left her unable to fully stand up. But her injury does not slow her down as she walks the streets, looking to turn garbage into gold.
Seeing other people collecting recyclables, I also started collecting them. Regardless of whom we sell them to, they can all be used to help others, just like the master said.
As she goes about her recycling daily, the grandmother has gathered somewhat of a following as neighbors do their best to help out.
She recycles not for herself. This is something that I really admire about her. She is really amazing. Despite her age, she's working so hard to help protect this planet.
Although I am physically capable, I don't have the spirit to be able to do the things she does. At the very most, I will collect recyclables at home and then give them to her as a show of my support.
But Chen Wei's health has only improved since she started walking the streets in search of recyclables.
I feel very alive and energetic. It is necessary that I spend at least an hour organizing all the recyclables I have collected.
Although Grandma Chen Wei never received a higher education, she has been blessed with a pure and strong heart, and now in her later years, she is enjoying the blessings that come from applying herself in the right direction.
To help local residents let go of their superstitions during the 7th lunar month, Tzu Chi volunteers in New Taipei City, Taiwan, organized a series of tea gatherings in Xindian, Xizhi, and Zhonghe to promote the concepts of no animal offerings and no burning of joss paper. Let's take a look.
At the local community center, audience members are watching a play that shows that the 7th lunar month is in fact a month to celebrate gratitude and filial piety. Here in Zhonghe, New Taipei City, Tzu Chi volunteers organize a tea gathering to educate members of the public on how to observe this month in the correct manner.
Brothers and sisters, if a guy likes to drink as much as he can, what would you call him? If a guy likes to chase women, what would you call him?
As a way to inspire members of the public to cleanse their hearts, Tzu Chi volunteers prepare vegetarian snacks. Prior to the event, the volunteers took to the street to spread news of the tea gathering. Volunteers will also sing in parks, and this 95-year-old grandma was happy upon learning of the event. The chairperson of a local community association also showed his support for Tzu Chi's campaign in the 7th lunar month.
1 or 2 weeks ago, we organized a steering committee for today's tea gathering. We try our best to inform the members of our community of this event. For example, we put posters on community billboards and inside elevators.
The former chairperson also shows up to share his vegan life.
When you hold to a heart of compassion, you naturally choose to go meatless. Speaking of adopting vegetarianism, I personally have eaten vegetarian breakfast for 26 years, and I have donated blood periodically for almost 30 years.
During this auspicious 7th lunar month, members of the public not only have a chance to enjoy delicious meatless food, but also Tzu Chi volunteers love. Also in New Taipei City, Xindian Tzu Chi volunteers organize a tea gathering at a local temple where they try to change the public's superstitious perception of the 7th lunar month.
During the Ming and Qing dynasties, emperors all chose the 7th lunar month to ascend the throne because of its auspiciousness.
Through much-loved Taiwanese operas, local residents and foreign laborers alike learned of the importance of no-animal offerings and the benefits of vegetarian food.
I have eaten meatless food for 2 years. I feel good, light, and healthy.
Meanwhile, in Xizhi, Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang Liqin proposed the idea of holding a tea gathering for community members.
We thought the more just paper we burned, the more merit we created. With 200 households burn just money at the same time, you can imagine how much air pollution will be created.
At the tea gathering, participants show their support for Tzu Chi's work and ideals.
The tradition of the 7th lunar month is hard to change. However, with Tzu Chi's positive image, I believe your campaign will be successful in changing public perception.
Everyone can do their part in environmental protection.
As the tea gathering concludes on the perfect note, members of this community are ready to walk the Tzu Chi path with confidence and assurance.
Here in the United States, Los Angeles Tzu Chi volunteers paid a visit to various banks and life insurance companies on August 20th to promote Tzu Chi's charity mission. And those who have previously attended Tzu Chi's entrepreneur training seminar in Hualien say they will implement Tzu Chi's philosophy at home and in their workplace.
Integrity and humanistic care are principles which Liao Bingchun, a life insurance professional, lives by. Having attended Tzu Chi's entrepreneur training seminar in Taiwan in 2012, he is of the same mind with Tzu Chi's ideals and philosophy.
Today we heard the stories of our peers and how their lives and family have changed since joining Tzu Chi. I think this is very helpful for all of us. So I want to take the lead and invite some more of my friends to join Tzu Chi's events, and I hope they will find each experience to be rewarding.
Those media supervisors who visited Hualien in May also expressed their vision.
We are a public platform and we are willing to use our platform to shoulder societal responsibilities. We want to promote the concepts of environmental conservation and charity. We hope to have the opportunity to work closely with Tzu Chi and introduce Tzu Chi to local residents in Southern California.
Los Angeles Tzu Chi volunteers also made respective visits to New York Life and Cathay Bank to spread the concepts of charity and great love, which opened new perspectives for this group of white-collar professionals.
Tzu Chi volunteers devote themselves selflessly to charity work and recycling. Many of the things we heard today we have never considered before.
After an insightful day, many also decided to alter their food choices as Tzu Chi volunteers promoted the health and environmental benefits of a vegetarian diet.
In the United States, the 2013 U.S. Tzu Chi Collegiate Association Leadership Conference took place recently at the U.S. Tzu Chi headquarters in San Dimas, California, with a total of 310 students and volunteers taking part. As this year also marks Tzu Chi's 15th year in the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers were moved to see how the number of youth volunteers grew. Here's more.
The U.S. Teaching Leadership Conference 4 years ago only had 16 participants. This year, the seminar saw 120 students and 190 volunteers taking part.
Thinking back to 4 years ago, we only had 16 Tzu Chis then. Today, that number has gone up 10 times. 3 years ago, we set up a 10-year plan to pass on Tzu Chi's missions. We have seen Tzu Chis, alumni, and volunteers from around U.S. all working towards that goal.
In the past, Tzu Chi volunteers used to assist in organizing the event. However, today, Tzu Chi alumni from around U.S. and abroad are here to take on these tasks and pass on Tzu Chi's ideals.
In the song One Family, part of the lyrics describe how we need others' companionship to fulfill our dreams, so we continue to look for more people to join us in promoting Tzu Chi's missions.
Here at the 15th anniversary of Tzu Chi in the United States, youth media volunteers can be seen on site recording the Buddhist NGO's work.
It was quite difficult to capture footage from every angle, but seeing our results, I feel it was all worth the effort.
At the 4-day conference, besides the blue and white uniformed volunteers, a group of Panda Express staff in red shirts are also here to lend a helping hand.
We have about 24 employees here today, and they all volunteer to come.
Panda Express, a fast food chain restaurant, has been devoted to designing delicious vegetarian dishes since first coming across Tzu Chi.
What we have learned particularly from the brothers and sisters is that when they were welcoming us home, everyone was so sincere. To me, this is what we from the service industry need to learn the most. Whether it is towards our customers, our family, or colleagues, we need to be mindful.
The love and care of Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Chis not only moves all those around them, but also brings everyone closer together in working for the greater good.
Also in the United States, the 4th annual Happy Kids Day Festival was held at the Cupertino Memorial Park in California. This year, Tzu Chi set up a booth at the event as volunteers took the opportunity to promote Tzu Chi's philosophy, recycling mission, and the concept of the auspicious 7th lunar month.
Enjoying themselves in Tzu Chi's song, fairgoers rushed to Tzu Chi's booth to get more information about this Buddhist NGO. Other than enjoyable songs, the volunteers also prepare fun games for passers-by.
4 out of these 6 items are recyclables. Guess which one?
At the 4th annual Happy Kids Day Festival held in Cupertino, California, Tzu Chi volunteers take the opportunity to educate children on how to recycle. In addition to practicing recycling, adopting vegetarianism is also a way to safeguard our environment. With Tzu Chi's vegetarian pledge cards in hand, everyone is ready to shoulder the responsibility together with Tzu Chi. Leading by example, volunteers work in unison to tidy the surroundings in hopes of inspiring more people to play their part for our environment.
At the end of the show, we go to the Philippines, where Tzu Chi volunteers have been holding food distributions for evacuees of Typhoon Trami in Marikina City and San Mateo, both in Rizal Province. Volunteers brought portable gas stoves to cook hot meals to warm the hearts and stomachs of these residents. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Have a good weekend.